Hey Will, Daphne here. How are you? Thank you for sending in your essays. I understand you've had a really busy week. Now you've got your exam this weekend, so wow, a lot going on in your life, but I'm glad you're busy. That's good. Okay, let's have a look at these essays for you. Some products can be made quickly by machine. Other items take a long time to be made by hand. As a buyer, which do you prefer? Really interesting question. You've chosen some really good ones. I haven't seen this one before, but let's have a go. Since the advent of industrialization, the ability for machines to quickly and efficiently mass produce consumer goods on the assembly line has been the cornerstone of vast increases to the quality of life for the average person. But has increasingly driven previously handmade items and the corresponding skill set for creating them into niche markets. Just comma so I can breathe, because otherwise this is very long. Into niche markets due to both high labour costs of handcrafting and the experience that's required to perfect craftsmen's trades. Okay, just apostrophe S there. Otherwise, that looks absolutely perfect. Remember, I think you like long sentences, and I do too. But remember, it's important to be able to breathe in them, hence the commas, which are quite important. But lovely start, really super vocab, and this is lovely. These collocations like handcrafted and niche markets and craftsman is just the right vocab. As an end consumer, I have a strong preference for mass-produced goods, where low pricing and uniformity is most valued, but reserve a soft spot, lovely, for handmade items that are of artistic or sentimental value, or where a level of customization is required. I seek to address these values in this essay. Lovely, well done. This is super, really, really lovely. One of the first instances of modern machine assembly and mass production of consumer goods in its contemporary context was at Model 4T, of course. This approach of creating a cost-effective product in the automotive industry was replicated by a plethora of sectors, with a heavy focus on streamlining and quality controlling their end products. Here, I would just do the ing, representing, take out that. So it would read controlling their products, representing, so comma there, representing significant cost benefits to the manufacturer, or, yeah, representing or even offering, which could then, so you're talking in the past, be passed on to consumers. Good. The assurance of quality control. So let's just put that in as a change. The assurance of quality control and affordability in assembled products underlies the primary driver for consumers when choosing these items over significantly more expensive handmade options. The assurance of quality control and affordability, yes, is a primary drive. Yeah, and it's typically applicable to common household goods. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, great. On the other hand, the sentimental and artistic merit of handcrafted goods illustrates, so the artistic merit illustrates, grammar there, the care and skill that goes into crafting each item. Good examples of these are products that are decorative or otherwise deemed luxury items, where their purpose may be more aligned to showing status and functional usage, such as handbags, leather, shoes. Lovely. For these goods, the tailored approach offers a bespoke, let's not have approach again. I mean, you could make this into a noun. You could offers bespokeness to their design. Oh, hey, doesn't like that. All right, okay. So here I am making up words. Let's go a bespoke element to their design and speaks to the comfort of the user over. Now, let's do it this way. Take out the. Speaks to comfort over cost. So you could, which is more the sort of expression that we would say. So speaks to comfort over cost, often trading higher overheads and labour expenses for a better fit for the end user. Yeah, and then you're not repeating user there. So that just makes that a little bit neater. It's common to purchase tailored suits for masks and events in one's life rather than opt for for a cheaper choice, offering a personalised touch to a sentimental event. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, to a sentimental event. Or a memorable. Sentimental can be a little bit different in terms of the nuance behind the word. Sentimental can be a little bit like watching videos of tiny cats, kittens. Yeah, that's, oh, how sweet. Whereas this, like, memorable is a little bit different and would be more appropriate for a wedding or a graduation. The primary difference between machine-tooled handcrafted goods is the flexibility of design offered by handcrafting, in contrast to the precise but one-size-fits-all good approach of assembly line mass-produced items. In my opinion, this is a choice between sentimental value. Here you could have it there, but then don't have it there. Watch out for just repeating words. I know your vocabulary is amazing, but just be careful. And cost effectiveness, and I would seek out tailored items when considering their artistic beauty or personalisation value over a cheaper mass-produced option where available, but would not elect to purchase a handcrafted item if a price and function were my only concerns. Okay. My only comment will be this slightly repetitive conclusion. You know, you've made the point. You know, I would go, in my opinion, bring this up to the 4 here. Okay, and then I think you could stop. I think you could stop there. Yeah. If you're short of time. Otherwise, you're okay. But in terms of if I was editing, I don't think you need that because I think you've made the point extremely clearly and extremely well. And this just feels like you're just saying it all over again. Yeah. So keep it tight is my recommendation. Do your task 2 first. Now, the task 2 carries twice as many marks as task 1. I'm not sure if I've mentioned that or if you know that, but definitely do the task 2 first, and then you can give more time to that one than the other one. But that is a super essay. I mean, excited about this because, you know you're writing with great skill, and what you've done in the past few weeks is just get this into looking like an IELTS essay, and this is very impressive. So the task 1 that you've chosen is a bar chart. Okay, Summer Olympic record holders by country. So we're doing the same thing always. We're summarizing and we're selecting and reporting and making comparisons. This word comparisons is super important. The wording is always the same here, but the comparison element is very important to remember. So nice little horizontal bar chart. The above bar chart is a visual representation of the country of origin out of 8 of record holders in the Summer Olympic Games. Okay, if we have a date here, no we don't. Overall, there are no countries that have achieved less than 2 world records within the given data set, and no country that has produced more than 11. Okay, the US, which is capital, is the highest ranked competitor at 11. Rather than at, I would use with 11 world records. In contrast, Romania and Norway, good, are tied for the lowest tier with 2 record holders. Russia holds second place with 7. Instead of record holders, why don't you have 7 winners? Mix up the vocab a bit, so we're not repeating. 7 winners, while East Germany and Jamaica both have 4, and then you don't need to repeat that because you've got the word winners in here, so you don't need to repeat that. Kenya and Ethiopia then complete the days with, so again, I would change that again. Successes. And then you can use this lovely word respectively. And you've got a list almost like that, okay, with 3 successes respectively. I know this is less linguistic than the task 2, but at the same time, because it's a language exam, you would get more points for just very simple synonyms, which is what we're doing here. We're just adding in different words to show that you've thought about it. It is of note that the US has produced more record holders than the bottom 4 nations combined. Good, here's your lovely comparisons, and represents the country of origin, with almost a third of all within the data, while the bottom 6 comprise only half of the total number of record holders. Okay, fantastic. That is really, really nice. I think that's a fantastic response. I mean, what can I say? I'm running out of amazing words. Yeah, just the vocab, literally just the vocab. But you've selected and you've done a very, very neat answer there. Okay, really, really good. And 160 is fine. I mean, some people write 200 for task 1. There's no point. You don't need to. You've done the job. So that's lovely. Okay, another task 2. Some people are of the opinion that children should be rewarded for good behaviour. Others think they should be punished for bad. Yeah, this is a very typical IELTS kind of question. Some students of mine had another one like this the other day about money, and the two parts of the question kind of didn't link. But yeah, so it's a tricky wording of this sometimes. The childhood represents the basis on which an individual's future values and moral compass are constructed, and it's during childhood that behavioural education plays a significant role in the healthy development of personhood. Good. Whilst there is no widely accepted consensus on which mode of behavioural education is most effective, so be careful on the repetition. So you've got it here and you've got it there. So this is something that just one thing to be aware of, Will. Just try and find another way around it. So which mode of upbringing or parenthood is most effective. So you might need all of these. You've got personhood, but parenthood or parenting, let's go. Parenting is what I mean, sorry. Is most effective. Contrasting thoughts exist between punishment for poor behaviour and reward for good. You don't need to repeat behaviour, particularly during early childhood. Again, you could have early years because you've got childhood there. You've got childhood at the beginning. Both are necessary. Yeah, okay. Over the course of human history, punitive methodology towards undesirable traits was the predominant form of behavioural education. Yeah, we're going to have to avoid this one again. Of discipline in children and adolescents. However, in many instances, while this form of youth education does foster a strong sense of resilience and discipline in children, okay, disciplines and maybe you put manners or conformity, because they're conforming to the behaviour that you want them to redeem. It's not conducive to mental health. It is not usually, these are useful words, conducive to mental health. They're useful in this idea of distancing yourself from the essay, which you're used to because you're writing academic texts a lot. So these are usually, sometimes, frequently, rather than avoiding making a big statement with is, not usually conducive to healthy mental development of the individual, and would instead instill a fear. So here I would put could instill. Slight difference, but important. A fear of authority within the child and contribute to higher instances of lying or manipulation to avoid punishment, or severely impact the mental health of the young, where punishment for poor behaviour is a social norm. Again, this sentence is this long, okay? So, yes and no. Yes, amazing, but you really need to make sure that like, if you feel you're writing a super long sentence, just ask yourself, could I break that a tiny bit? An example of this exists where punitive practices are widely accepted within Asian communities, and a plethora of studies have concluded that this may be an underlying factor towards higher rates of youth suicide within high-pressure environments of Asian societies. Wow, that's depressing. Gosh. That's very depressing. I hadn't realised that. I know the high pressure, but I hadn't kind of followed that through in the implications. On the other hand, rewarding good behaviour has come to be a contemporary trend. Yes, absolutely. Seeking to promote positive traits within children, building confidence and trust between the child and their educator or parents, these methods are employed in a multitude of developed education systems. Actions such as helping teachers or completing tasks or rewarded with sweet stickers or monetary gifts. Pay my students. I would never pay my students. um, or completing tasks on time. I mean, you've got to, it's got to be a bit better than just doing the task on time. I mean, right? I'm going to talk to my students. On time. Ah, rewarded. Yeah. In a modern context, some parents may elect to pay their children for completing chores at an early age, and simultaneously foster within the child both familiarity with finances and a sense of personal responsibility. Yeah, great example. Go and tidy your room. The discussion of whether rewarding a child for their good behaviour is superior good to punishing them. You don't need to repeat that. While contentious in nature, is fundamentally one that cannot be addressed as a zero-sum game. Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. This is what I mean by it being a very awkward question, because they don't equate, or opposite, or whatever. While contentious, rather it's my opinion that the best interests of the child are most accommodated for when both practices are engaged as a necessary are engaged as a necessary component of their education. Rather than most accommodated, why don't you just have paramount? Which is just one word less, in a way, for when both practices are engaged as a necessary component of their education. I don't think you need that line, but that is, it is equally important to punish behaviour that harms others while encouraging and promotes. Yeah, again, I don't think you need that line at the end, because I think that's a very solid essay. Really, really good. You have got a lovely dexterity in your writing. It is very fluid and fluent, and just a couple of points there, but otherwise very good. You've navigated that really, really well. What have we got here? Okay, this recording is going to blow up, so I'm going to pause here and then start again.